All right, let's break down piece by piece exactly how to master part 2 of the B2 first speaking exam. We're going to turn 1 minute of pressure into 1 minute of pure confidence. Let's dive in.
So we're starting with the single biggest point of confusion for pretty much every student. You're sitting there, you've got 2 photos in front of you, the clock is ticking, and you're thinking, okay, do I describe everything I see, or do I just jump right into the question? It's this dilemma that causes so much anxiety, so let's clear it up once and for all.
Here is our game plan. First, we'll untangle that core dilemma. Then we'll look at what the examiners actually want from you. After that, I'm going to give you a rock-solid 1-minute plan, the key language you need, the most common mistakes to avoid, and finally, a strategy for that quick-fire 30-second question.
So why is this so confusing in the first place? Well, it's probably because you've heard all sorts of conflicting advice from different teachers, different websites, and it creates this sort of tug-of-war in your head. Let's look at where that confusion really comes from.
And this pretty much sums it up, right? One group is telling you, describe everything first, then answer the question. But the other side is saying, no, don't waste time describing, get straight to the question. It's no wonder you feel caught in the middle, not knowing which way to go.
Okay, let's cut through all that noise. We're going straight to the source. We're going to look at the official Cambridge Handbook for Teachers to see what the people who are actually marking your exam are looking for.
And there it is, straight from the horse's mouth. I mean, they couldn't be clearer. Notice the emphasis on what you are not expected to do. Your job isn't to be a narrator listing objects. The real keys here are to compare and react. You have to think of the pictures as a launchpad, not the final destination.
And it makes sense when you think about it. If you just say, in the picture, there are 3 people, they are outside, they are smiling. What have you really shown the examiner? You've just used some basic A2 level grammar and vocabulary. But you're in a B2 exam. Simply describing stuff just eats up precious seconds you could be using to show off your actual B2 skills.
So this is your true goal. You use the photos to compare, to speculate, and to directly tackle the question. That is how you show off the fantastic B2 level grammar and vocabulary that you've been working so hard on.
Okay, now that we know what to do, let's figure out how to do it. We're going to build a clear, step-by-step plan that'll carry you through that entire minute without freezing up or getting lost.
And this is the perfect structure. You start with a quick general intro about both photos. Then you point out a key similarity. After that, you pivot to the differences. This is really important. Then you dedicate the biggest chunk of your time to speculating and actually answering the main question. And finally, you wrap it all up with a quick conclusion. It's a formula for success, really.
And just look at this chart. Where's the biggest slice of the pie? It's answering the question. It gets a massive 40% of your time. This makes it crystal clear, your main focus, all your energy, it has to be dedicated to developing a great answer to that question on the page.
So, you've got the plan, but what words should you actually be using? Let's stock your toolkit with the exact language you need for comparing and speculating.
Think of these phrases as your signposts. When you use words like whereas or on the other hand, you are clearly signaling to the examiner, hey, I'm comparing and contrasting now. It instantly lifts your answer from simple description to much more sophisticated analysis. And this is the real B2 magic right here. Instead of just saying, they are happy, you say, they seem to be enjoying themselves, or they might have just finished work. This is the language of speculation, and it is absolutely essential for answering those why questions and showing you can think beyond just what's in the image.
All right, knowing what to do is half the battle. The other half is knowing what not to do. So let's take a look at the most common traps that students fall right into.
Okay, let's focus on the single biggest mistake that candidates make. It is by far the most common, the most damaging to your score, and you know what? It's also the most easily avoidable.
This is it. So many students get completely lost in describing the photos. They'll talk for 50 seconds about the color of someone's shirt or the trees in the background, and then the examiner says, "Thank you," and they realize they've completely forgotten to answer the question. Please, don't let that be you.
And here are the other pitfalls to watch out for. Just describing without actually comparing, running out of time, relying on really basic words like good or nice, and not using that crucial speculative language we just talked about. If you can steer clear of these, you're going to be way ahead of the curve.
Okay, but you're not quite done with part 2 after your minute is up. There's one last little step. After your partner has their turn,
The examiner will turn back to you and ask a very short 30-second follow-up question about their photos.
And for that, you need a simple, direct structure. Just state your opinion or preference, give one clear reason why, and if you have time, add a quick personal example. That's it. Short, sharp, and perfectly effective.
You know, this quote right here, it perfectly summarizes our entire strategy. Your description should always serve a purpose. If you find yourself describing something, ask yourself, does this help me answer the question? If the answer is no, move on.
And at the end of the day, just remember, this isn't just some trick to pass the test. Learning to speculate, to look at a situation and think about the possibilities, the reasons, the outcomes, that's a powerful communication skill for your real life. So my question to you is, how are you going to start practicing it? Not just for the exam, but for your everyday English, because that is the real key to fluency.